Christy Shell, who is the owner of Zeal Coaching for Life and Careers, and she's going to go through 24 ways to energize your virtual network and engage your customers. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Christy.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm super happy to be here. Hi. I am, if you don't know, I'm Christy Shell. I own Zeal Coaching. I've been in business for over 23 years as a executive career and life coach. Yeah, that's a real thing. It's not just a brand of a joke. That's what I do. I help high school and college age kids figure out from the beginning the right career fit. That's one of our services. I also help adults in life and career transition, and have helped a lot of people start small businesses and get going in that way. And then I work with a lot of leadership in their teams to enhance their relationships so that they can have greater impact and more success in their business. So those are kind of just the basic, that's the basic commercial. Now we'll go into the content, if that's all right. But I'm really glad that, you know, I feel very honored that Shelby asked me to be here. I think what's funny for me is that it's taken me a long time to warm up to being virtual and to doing that, and was working on that for several years. But of course, like everyone else, has really had us kick in and really put it to the test this year. And so for me, though, just some of the things that, you know, so you know kind of what I've been working on. So I think I first went online at like Facebook or whatever in 2005 or 6 or something, and so have helped a couple of nonprofits be very successful using the kind of different platforms and that kind of thing. But for me, we started a podcast 2 years ago. I do a Friday morning Facebook live group called Coffee with Christy, which is like inspirational life coaching tips type of thing. I just am in the process right now of offering a workshop called Bravely Bold. It's a free webinar that starts, like our next one is the 16th of this month, and that moves people into a workshop. So then that's a sales process, just you know, to talk business to business kind of idea. So, and then post regularly about myself and my family and my team and that type of thing, and then client successes and those kind of things. And so just in the last year, I was just looking at my stats. I think I've reached like 75,000 people in the last month. So we're really growing and really working to master this and learning how to use different platforms that fit my clientele and those kind of things. So we're going to talk more about that. But I think the whole thing is the idea of gaining online momentum. So I do have a PowerPoint. I'm going to switch over to that. But I do want to, you know, kind of keep this open if you have questions, but I actually have a lot of content. I'm just going to kind of buzz through it, and hopefully you get some ahas and things like that. And if we want to change this over to, you know, some kind of written format, I can hand out the handouts or whatever. I can send the PDFs through Chelsea or through Shelby, whoever you are. No, I love you, so Shelby. Let's go on over to my little PowerPoint, please. So. I'm always still mastering this little thing over here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Still trying to master this little, there it is. Okay, back to you all. You think after so many times you would finally get this. Okay, this is the screen I'm sharing. Awesome. So you can all see that, yeah? So, okay. So just kind of flipping through that, I just kind of explained that, so we'll skip my pretty pictures or whatever. But I do want to just kind of what we're going to cover today. So I'm going to share some of my mistakes and lessons learned, and then 24 plus ideas to engage your audience. But I really want to highlight some of the local businesses along the way, because there are some businesses that are knocking it out of the park. And I think we see more of the retail side of that doing a lot of that, but you would be surprised of kind of the hidden ones that I've noticed that are doing things that are kind of not normally what you would think would be like an easy online kind of venue. So let's check some of this out. Let me just say that when you go into, there's kind of a confusion here, because when you think about networking, or if you're thinking about advertising, and the difference between understanding that, but my whole goal is have a strategy, okay, or have a reason why you're going to put some of this effort into this venue. Because when we think about networking with our customers, networking with other businesses who could be also our customers, but also getting your name out there. So my philosophy is always to gain people to know, like, trust you, to build credibility, right? And an expertise, so people think of you or have you top of mind when they come into something or a service that you have or can offer to them. So to really think about it that way. So I just kind of put out some ideas here. So is your strategy to build relationships? Is your strategy to be seen as an expertise, or to build that credibility within, if you're an insurance agent or a realtor or whatever? Is it to increase visits? So like if you do have a brick and mortar kind of place, is it increasing visits to your store to buy things or whatever? Is it increasing visits to your website? Is it, whatever, but what is your goal or what are your strategy? And also to not underestimate, especially in the virtual world, like the idea of entertainment and, inspiration and that kind of thing, and getting people's just attention, again, to be on top of mind and that type of thing. All right. So what is your reason why would you go for the strategy, and what are you trying to gain from that? And to have that kind of in your mind as you go forward. Okay. The next thing is some of my mistakes, I think a lot of times, is in our thinking, right? So, and you may have overcome many of these, so I don't know all of you. So, but to believe that you can go without it, okay? So to believe that you can go out without a virtual connection, or to have that kind of presence, or to be continually connecting with your customers, because if you're not, somebody else probably is, and then they are going to draw those people away from you. So that's one reason. But the real reason is, again, it's that idea of being top of mind. And most social media or connections that you can make, whether it's through your website or through your, like, a list building process or something like that, is kind of free. It's really inexpensive. It's really, you actually could put very little money into it if you're not utilizing it, and decide then if you want to invest and grow that. Okay, so it may be a little bit more sweat equity and figuring out those kinds of things, but to think that you can go without it is just really not possible. So you really, to get in there. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have a ton of people that are connected with you. It could be, as long as it's a quality of clients or quality of connection. It can be both, right? So to really think about that. If you think you're the type of business we're not the type of business that does virtual. Well, I believe that for a long time, because I love to see clients in my office, and I kind of hesitated to go online and take my services and those kinds of things online, because I love to welcome and host people in my office. But I feel like a lot of insurance agents, investment people, if you're more in the white collar kind of social, like, services industry or social services industry, we're not the type of business. Well, I don't believe that. I've seen every kind of business have and make some kind of connection randomly, right? Sometimes it's very odd and fun or entertaining, but that you can be creative in this space, and you can kind of find people that will connect you maybe in a different way that would have never found you at all. So the next one is that you need to be on all platforms. Okay, so I would suggest, there are so many between Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all the podcast channels or whatever you're thinking about, but that you just pick one or two that you think your potential clients or customers are hanging out in. So Facebook is getting old for young people. So what's the new thing? Like, there's TikTok and there's the different pieces that are new to a younger generation. So it depends on who you're talking to, okay? And you don't need to be on all platforms, but to get good at one or two. So I mostly hang out on Facebook and Instagram, right? And so because I am primarily looking for adult women, right? And so that is where a lot of their connections are. When I'm trying to connect with younger women, I use Instagram more and more, okay, right now. So it's interesting. And each site in each of those platforms has special things that they offer. So some are visual, some are more conversational, some go away after, you know, a day or whatever it is, 24 hours or something like that. To believe, if you believe that it's hard or complicated, it's really not, okay? So there is I feel like a fear curve that we have to get over to think, oh, it's just super complicated and I don't have to do it. Like, it is a slow growth kind of learning type of thing. So posting something, posting a picture, posting, you know, a saying or whatever is your thing, or posting a happy customer or something like that. It doesn't have to be complicated. You're just reaching out and letting people know that you're still there. But then you can grow that skill and it can get deeper, and then it can get very complicated. But then by then you want to hire a social media person potentially or whatever. All posts need to be perfect. Okay, so this is a huge one. I think we all get caught in, because normally when we're creating marketing material, we want it to be pristine and perfect and all of those type of things. But the more, like I've found, the more a video is authentic, or a post is like hits the heart of a matter, it doesn't have to be necessarily perfect, okay? It feels more authentic when it isn't perfect. And so, you know, to show you're blubbing over words or to like, that just doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like a commercial you have on TV. Now you can have that level if you want to, but when you're doing like daily posts, people don't expect that. And we get very caught in that, okay, that it has to be perfect, and it's just not the thing. The more you use something fun or something silly or something that catches attention, you know, and that isn't perfect, is important there. We believe it can be haphazard. And what I mean by this is that I can do it tomorrow, I can do it next week, I can do it every third Tuesday or whatever kind of thing. But I think one of the strongest and most important things that I really learned, it's about consistency. So even if you're only posting once a week, that you're posting on the same day at the same time, that people come to know you. When I started doing my coffee talks on Friday morning, I committed, I'm going to do it, right? And get myself up there and get going. And I started to do them. And it's funny how people stopped me at Moeller's, and people I don't know, and they're like, hey, I watch your coffee talks. I'm like, me? Really? What? You know what I mean? And so but to have that consistency and to do it on a regular basis, so whether you're posting every day or you have a theme of the day, Motivation Mondays or whatever kind of thing, you can do that. But to think about, to be consistent, whatever you decide to do, okay? So, and the last one is sorry, it's really loud by my office. The last one is not to trade a free offer for an email list. So the best thing about social media is to take that online experience and create it so that you can draw people into your email list, and then you can communicate with them directly. Because the way the algorithms go on social media, you're not going to see everybody's post all the time. And so now if you offer something free and they trade it for their email address, then you can then contact them you know, with your newsletter, your special a day or whatever. So even with my coffee talks, I do those on Friday, and then I repost them I use that for all my different audiences. And what happens is not many people are actually on the actual, when I go live, but people watch it afterwards. And so then I've captured them and I can send it directly to their email address. And so then that gains more connection, and they feel like they're a part of your club or your group of people. So any questions just about this idea? And I'm sure there's way more we can add, but I'm just going to pause for a second and offer some time for questions just in general. All right. Let me know if there's questions. Okay. Are you looking at them, Shelby?
I'm going to go over this one real quick. Do you advertise on any dating apps?
No, but that's a great suggestion for me, right? Yeah. So no, it's good to connect those to hashtags or things that are of interest. We're going to talk about interest groups. I haven't played with hashtags a lot, actually, or kind of that connection to that, but I have played with selecting audiences and stuff like that, but I have not advertised on dating apps. So, but it's a good idea. So.
Another question is, what is an example of the most effective posts you've had so far?
Probably the most effective is like I did a coffee talk on resilience, like right at the beginning of COVID, and for whatever reason that one specifically like hit home. And I think we have, you know, for me it's a high watch, like 25 or 30 people, and like to watch it all the way through, to watch a 10 or 12-minute video all the way through is a huge thing. And but the best thing that I've done this year is to offer this webinar, and because people have engaged from all over, and I really boosted and advertised and put money behind that ad, and I'm really getting some really good input of people outside of our town, like outside and like regionally, so in the Midwest type of idea. So that type of thing. So yeah. Anything else?
That's all I have right now.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Will you guys give me is this been helpful? Just give us some heads up if we think we're on the right track here. Okay, so I want to offer you 24 ways. I wasn't sure, I didn't time this, so I'm not really sure how long all this is going to go. But well, first of all, let me go back just for a second. I want to talk about some ways that I've seen some of our local businesses really do really well. So BU Boutique, if you haven't watched, she goes QVC on us every afternoon all through COVID. She's selling clothes like gangbusters. If you haven't seen that, it's like something, I'm like, whoa. And if you're in her group, it pops up. She's live, she's selling, those kinds of things. Trojan Florist, which is just next door here to me, she did a series where she sold, she advertised to do a flower arrangement with people, and people stopped by the store and picked up all the supplies, and then at that evening at 7 o'clock or whatever, she taught the flower arranging class, but you just had everything at your fingertips. Dave Murray, on the other side of me, is doing Wednesday expertise in his tax and accounting. So I think it's exclusively for his clients, but he's doing some amazing stuff with that. We've seen Purebred do some takeovers, right? And some different things like where they go in and, you know, he's like takes over the coffee and, you know, and does something, which the chamber has also now done, like has been a part of all of those, kind of taking over the chamber site kind of thing, which is really fun. I love Expressions of the Home, little Petey using their dog, their little Boston Terrier who sits in the window there, if you notice, as their mascot. Now she's got Petey for President kind of t-shirts and all kinds of things like that. And so, I mean, really, really fun. There's a taco truck that I watch sometimes, and they're like in this crazy taco costume, like walking through random like sites in Dayton and things like that, and they videotape that and those kind of things. So I mean, I feel like there's all these ways that you could like engage. My personal investment guy, he is sending regular emails directly to my email that are kind of, if it's been a crazy trading day, he will send me. He sends it directly to me. That's how I feel. But he sends it to his clients, and it kind of gives his interpretation of what's happening. We've seen a lot of the realtors or the mortgage companies kind of posting pictures of their clients getting the keys to the house or whatever, those kind of things. Thinking about, I think it was the bakehouse just did a fundraiser for the Main Street, and they have a big check giving kind of ceremony. But there's all these ways. The other one that I love is RT Industries inside there while their staff has been at home and while they're connecting. They're doing a lot of stuff of visiting their clients or posting different pictures over the time. But what I really love is they're featuring each department, and that department is teaching their clientele's families and the employees about that department. So the accounting and, you know, the community work organization, they're featuring different things. So they're really encouraging their employees to have some ownership of this or whatever, okay? So there's so many different things and so many different ways, but to really kind of re-engage yourself back into this and get consistent and have some fun with it, and be a little more creative, I think is the idea that you can do this. The one thing is that I would try in your organization to designate one person, like, you know, we don't all can afford a social media person, right, or whatever, but to decide on one person, whether that's you or whether it's someone else on your staff or whatever, that they're in charge of that. Like some people will have a lot of fun with like getting that going and creating that. And so making it a part of your marketing strategy very specifically or more casually, it's really up to you. So, all right, so those are some examples of our local people. So here are these are the 24 ways to energize. So I just like brainstormed a bunch. So, and then at the end, I'll ask you to offer some of your own ideas or some of your own suggestions, right? So it could be a joke of the day, a tip of the day, a product of the day, a sale of the day, right? It could be an employee of the day. It could be a customer of the day. Anything or any of that kind of thing you could do. And it could be something different every day. One easy one is a product photos, right? So, you know, this is easier kind of in the retail space, but I would challenge you to think about even in banking, Linda, or in whatever, like what photos could you take that weren't breaking any kind of FDA, like any rules that would kind of feature something about the bank. A tour of your office or a production line, or if you make something, or if you make t-shirts or whatever, you know, a video of that, right? Or a, you know, step-by-step process kind of thing, or like a backstage tour to the chamber or an event or something like that. Like, it's kind of like pull the curtain back and people are kind of really interested in that kind of thing. Create an interest group, and this is literally like for Facebook or something like that, where you actually can create a group like coffee lovers, or, you know, managing your money better, or whatever, you know, loving historic homes group or whatever, but create an interest group that's connected to your business, and then post to them and invite people to come into that group as you find that they're interested and more interested in that type of thing. To create a challenge, and a challenge is usually like 3 days in a row, post a picture of, you know, of your weight loss, you know, workout, or post a picture challenge. It could be anything. It could be, you know, if, you know, 5 clients that, you know, you walk through a home or something like that, but, or computer problems that you overcome or whatever. But this is engaging your audience to post to your page that they're going to have a challenge, and you give them some way to report every day that challenge, and then you usually give them like a gift or a gift card at the end for completing the challenge, right? And so and then part of that is you ask people to repost their story as they go through, and so now people are interested in what they're doing, and they're interested that you were the reason they started to do this, and so those become a really good thing. Kind of along with that, but like a photo contest, a design contest, a slogan contest, name or product contest. I remember when Michelle's Macaroons opened, to get people engaged, if you wanted to buy into her company, you got to name or design a certain kind of macaroon, and people were like, I want my kind of, like, I want the raspberry chocolate, whatever, macaroon, like, do you know what I mean? And so she offered that as a way to enhance people or to entice people, but to get people, I've done, show me, so because I do a lot of career work, show me something that you love to do that's a part of your career. So one girl's showing she's cleaning out a barn, she's a horse, instructor for horses and that kind of thing, but some different things. Inspiring sayings or like Bible verses or whatever, if that is appropriate to your company. But it can be inspirational, it could be funny, it could be, something that kind of engages people to look to you for inspiration or insight or that kind of thing. A client story or a testimonial. This could be written, it could be, a videotape, it could be like a shout out, like on my site, sometimes parents love to talk about what their kids are doing or the wins that the kids are having, or how it, changed, it relieved the parent stress besides the kids. Like I do a lot of, send me your first pictures of week of college, right? Show us what you're doing, that kind of thing. And then I get a lot of testimonials and stuff at graduation when students graduate in the career that they were interested, they decided in my office. So, so some more energizers. So interview a client, interview a sister company, interview a vendor, interview an employee. I do have that. So to spend some time or to just go on and like, it literally does not have to be perfect. It could be a 10-minute video of an interview with a client or a vendor or something like that. Or an employee, especially if you're looking for more employees, right? Go out on the floor, show what the employees are doing, have them, pick your star employee, have them tell a little bit of story, that kind of thing, or why they love to work there or something like that. Feature a department or a service. This is what I mentioned about RTI is, if you are a HVAC or plumbing company, maybe you feature the HVA side this week and the plumbing side next week or whatever. And so, or like it could be the automation group or whatever, even the accounting group. It sounds boring, but people are kind of interested in those kinds of things, right? It's again, kind of that backstage pass. Pick a mascot. Okay. So this is the PD story, right? Like, like a Chotsky kind of thing, like, travel advisors have the little gnome, right? Like that idea, like you could have some kind of, if that makes sense to you, or some kind of mascot type of thing that is an image that is, you put them in different places in your business, PD is in, PD's in the warehouse today or whatever, that kind of thing. So, give a shout out to another business. So I do this often. I actually have 3 florists that I do work and am friendly with. And so I'm always featuring different pictures and doing different shout outs. I don't know why, but that's a true thing. But also doing shout outs to my other businesses and clients, especially if they're doing well. And, kind of featuring them and even using a story of where they were struggling and now how they're winning, right? Or something like that. And of course, we always need to make sure we get their permission for that. So teach us a tool, a tip that is in your expertise. Maybe you teach us how to change an air filter on our car, or you train, or what to do in case of an emergency, or how to change the battery in your fire alarm or whatever. Not that we all need that, but those kinds of things. But it also could be how to balance your checkbook. It could be how to stage your house or whatever, right? Offer a playlist or a video. I love to do this sometimes, is to create a fun playlist, like here's your summer playlist, or I'd like to, I'm sending you a video to, get you ready for the weekend. We do these often on Fridays at my office, where we used to do them quite regularly when my assistant was, she's like a music fiend and she loves to do that. So I just gave it to her and she would go, oh yeah, this will be great. And she would post, we just pull a video off of YouTube and repost it, right? And it was like our little gift for people to get ready for the weekend or Offer a free checklist or a how-to. Right now we're working on a countdown to college checklist. That's something that we're working on in our office. That'll be a free giveaway, again, to exchange for email. And then we'll advertise that on Instagram and Facebook. Write an article. So going really old school, but I think it's really good. It doesn't have to be 400 or 500 words. It can be very short. It can be kind of blog, short, kind of 3 tips for whatever, like a really short article, or a longer article if you feel like, and then you can also offer that and repost that into, like, you can offer that to having to post and those kinds of things too. Okay, I'm getting down to the end, and then I'm going to be asking for your suggestions too. So hang in there with me, okay? Are we all bored? I'm not sure how much time I got left. Oh, I'm over already. Goodness. Okay, so start a book club. Maybe it's a book club around something of your content or of the expertise that you do. Maybe it's a I can't think of the name of the book about like growing your wealth, or it could be about a computer program, or, you know, futuristic things. In our world, we do a lot of self-help and personal development books. So those type of, you know, do a book club type of thing. Passion projects and updates. Now, for this, I think, so like I am also on a committee that is working on the building on the square, the new blue building. It's newly blue. And so I'm posting that to that website, but then I pull them over to my website too, to be like, here's what I'm working on, and giving updates and those kind of things, which lets people know you and know what else you're interested in and that kind of thing. I also post, I post, like if you're a huge fisherman, I love to post like nature photos that I take and that kind of thing. So it gives people this other dimension to know you, and to know kind of what you're interested in and what your passions are. Host a meetup, and this could be like on Meetup. There's actually a website called Meetup where you could host and gather more people kind of in your interest area. Or I would just say host of like this, a Zoom or whatever meetup where maybe you invite 5 realtors and you want to get to know them better if you're a realtor, or a mortgage person and you want to invite realtors or whatever. And I'm kind of connecting the one back there, but to send them lunch, let's have lunch together, right? And you order lunch for them and send it to their office so that you guys all have lunch at, 12 o'clock together. So you could or give them a gift card or whatever. It kind of goes along with that virtual coffee. Like, you could, a lot of times when we are doing virtual coaching, I'll send a gift to all of them. Like, it's our last thing, so I'm going to send them all a bottle of wine or something like that, and then we're going to have our last class and they can open their bottle of wine or whatever. So that type of thing. Teach a class similar to like what Trojan Florist did, or like a webinar, which is the class that Trojan Florist did is very much a hybrid of like real life, and that a webinar is definitely teaching online and engaging people in that way. Or start an educational series. So we're going to teach you, 5 ways to get ready for your home to sell, or something like that, or how to groom a cat, like it's going to be like whatever, like, right, that kind of thing. Send clients, or have it with them, like, hey, let's meet for lunch, but you get your lunch and I'll get my lunch, and let's have lunch, and you just want to connect and network with them. And then the last one is that, like, do a takeover. Like, I love the idea of like going in and taking over like one of the flower shops, right? And like running it and taking pictures, or helping, go and help in business or something. Or, like the takeover originally idea is like a bartender comes over and takes over a bar, and they serve their style of drinks or whatever. But doing something like that where, maybe you invite, like, Linda, I'm thinking in baking, like you invite the staff from another bank, and you guys have like a changeover day where you guys, do a takeover to each other or something. So that is a lot of like, I just like spewed things at you. But I think I'll just go back to this idea, like these are all like kind of very random brainstorm type of idea. But when you go back, really having a strategy and kind of creating a calendar that you would like to do things in, and making sure that you have that designated person who's going to do that, or select those or take those photos and post them, and that they are going to become more skilled and good at that, so that, you know, it becomes like not so intimidating to really think about. So I want to know what you guys have done. Everyone is like, I'm gonna go over here so I can see more faces. I'm gonna stop my sharing of the screen so I can see more faces. So helpful information, hands up. Too much? Okay. Any questions?
There's like 2 or 3 questions.
Okay.
So Kathy Vogler asked, what video platform do you use, and do you share them directly or from a YouTube channel?
So I do some videos on Facebook Live, and then I pull them off and save them, and then I post them also on YouTube. So so that is primarily how I've started to do it. Or in the past, I've videoed on my phone and then download it to my computer and then do it that way. So yeah, depends on if you want, how you want people to see it. So.
Next one I have is, any insights on how to reach potential clients for free services in particular?
Ooh, say it again. Okay.
Any insights on how to reach potential clients for free services?
Ooh, so like, are you saying you would offer a free service and then clients would, like, I would actually create an ad and offer that, like, and then post it to Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. If you are like learning to be whatever, say you're learning to be a realtor or whatever, you're like just a first-time realtor, you know, offer like the free house assessment or something like that, and then to post it in different platforms or whatever, but to boost it, like literally put some money behind it, which means you're boosting is like you're paying for that to be posted. And so it'll go out and you can choose your audience and that kind of thing, and then that will grow. So it's interesting. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think I have anything else.
Oh, I see someone says we highlight one of our business customers on our website quarterly. Awesome. Yeah, very good. Nice, nice.